This week on Talking Squash, we're here with Martin Heath, former world #4 squash player and performance director of Squash Canada. This is a racket store, and we're always interested in what all the pros use, what everybody uses, what rackets, what strings, tensions. What do you keep in your bag?
Okay, so it's a little less technical than actually. Let me see. I'll get a packed bag full of lots of different things. Let me see. Okay, this is what I'm using right now, and I'll tell you the reason I'm using it is because, well, it's Technofiber, so Technofiber gave me rackets. I also got them for University of Rochester. So they took all the players took the ones that I like. I actually don't like this one that much. The Carboflex is not the Carboflex. What's the other one? The green one.
The Supreme.
The Supreme. Yeah, that's a lovely racket.
So you and I are on the same. This is too much vibration for me, but it's probably the most popular racket on the market.
This is the one that Shorbaggy uses, and it's it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun trying out different things. So at the moment I'm not competing, obviously, so it's coaching, so I can pretty much use anything to coach. So it's kind of fun having, using this kind of racket.
Now I see the stencil. Is it stock string on your racket, or?
This is stock string, yeah.
Yeah. What would be your preference?
So I used to use Ashaway when I was playing.
The Super Nick, then I'm assuming, or
actually I used the Power Nick, which is no one really used. It was the very durable string, but I actually like the feel that I got from it. It's kind of papery kind of feel.
Yeah.
But Technofiber, that's something that I used to use as well. But you got to pre-stretch it. It's and then it breaks very easily as well.
Right.
But it feels great when you play with it. So at the moment I can play with pretty much anything.
Yeah, of course.
If I was competing, then it would be a little bit different.
Yeah. And what tension were you? For instance, like when you were competing, what tension would you hold in your racket?
So when I was,
because that's a very specific string that doesn't necessarily do well under lower tension, right?
So before I got onto glass courts, I was using kind of very loose tension and kind of thinking more about timing the ball.
Yeah.
And then when I got into glass courts, when you start getting like top 20 in the world, then I used a stiffer framed racket and I'd strung tighter, because then you need to have more control on the volley.
Right.
So you need to kind of dig into the ball a little bit more. You need to move up, and if you don't volley on a glass court, let's say this is done.
Right.
So you can't just go in the back wall and time the ball again. So you're forced to get up and attack that volley. So it changed a little bit.
Just for the average person who's never played on a glass court, I know how painful it can be. Right. But why is it so important to play volleys versus letting the ball go into the back corner, like on a traditional court?
So the ball will die.
Yeah.
So the glass walls will be a little bit stickier, and so the ball clips to the back wall, and then it'll stop, and so the ball stays up the front more as well. And the white ball doesn't take as much heat as the black ball.
Yeah.
It loses heat quicker, obviously. So you have that it dies a lot quicker as well. So over a period of time. So you really need to be, if you're not volleying and you're letting that ball go into the corners, then you're going to be struggling.
You're doing an extra step every single time you move.
It's the reason that Shahir Razik was the best number 25 in the world, because he was amazing on normal court, because he could just keep the ball going and work the game around, but on glass courts he didn't volley.
I'll make sure he watches this.
Sorry, yeah.
Everybody knows that he knows that it's fine.
Yeah. And what about your grip?
So the grip, again, this is a stock grip. I use a little bit thicker, and I like a little bit of a butt at the end here, and I'll actually hold it a little bit off the end as well, just to get extended reach.
Yeah.
And you want to be able to adjust that at the bottom here. So we can do a grip clinic another time.
Yeah.
But that's something that I use quite a lot, and I see players that grip it up here. And
that's the more common one to.
Yeah, and I don't understand why people do it, to be honest with you. I think I think you're losing a little bit of. I mean, you can still control from here. The rackets are so light these days. It's actually almost better to have a little bit more weight in the head.
Right.
And you can have a lot of reach if you're hitting from here. So rather than from here.
Right.
So again, it's horses for courses, but it's not something I would recommend.
Right.
So we'll talk about that after, because that's where I hold the racket.
When
we had a session yesterday,
that's a lesson today,
you didn't mention it in our session yesterday.
Yeah.
So what kind of shoes do you wear, or do you like to wear?
I use Prince shoes, the NFS 123 for years and years, and they went out of. I think they stopped making them, so I used to buy up a lot of the shoes that I could find online. But most of the badminton shoes are pretty good. The Salming are great as well. So I mean, at the moment I'm just using, what am I using? I'm using
Asics.
Asics, but I don't know if that would be my choice. There's a lot of great shoes out there, but I don't get sponsored.
But if you're not competing, I guess it's not as
Still that
important
big
for
of a
you.
deal,
Yeah.
yeah.
As long as
But
you
it
don't
is a big
slide.
deal. It's a big deal to get the right shoe that kind of covers your ankle, covers your foot. You feel like you can sink into it rather than sit on top of it. And you don't want to be too high. You want to be able to have enough cushion, but you want to be able to move around as well, right?
Right. Thanks for joining us on Talking Squash. This is Martin Heath. We appreciate the time you spent with us. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
It was
Cool.
Best of luck.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.